My slidecast is about my memoir. Over the summer, I worked at a day camp as a custodian. One day, the custodial staff and I decided to pull a prank on another custodian whose name was Fetter. The prank was to make up a card game called Tower and convince Fetter that it was real. The day camp we worked out is called Camp Apollo. This is a picture of the logo of the camp. As a custodian, it was my job to clean up after campers in the cafeteria, wash down tables, clean grills, throw out trash, and mop. These are pictures of the kitchen, cafeteria, and a Fetter. In the kitchen, we would hand out snacks for the campers to eat. We would clean the cafeteria by wiping down tables and mopping the floors. This was done after kids ate their lunch and snacks. These are pictures of the custodial staff at the camp. The custodial staff would have a lunch break, and that was the time when we would play cards with one another. In the picture on the left, I am in the top left corner, Eric is in the bottom left corner, Fetter is in the top right corner, and Gary is in the bottom right corner. In the pictures on the right, Andrew is in the top right, and Alex is in the bottom right. This is a picture of the main character of the memoir, Fetter. Fetter was bad at every type of card game we played, whether it be Goldfish, Kent, or War. He just couldn't find a way to win. Fetter was also a very gullible kid, and would believe most things that you would tell him. It was only a matter of time before we combined both those aspects together and try to pull a prank on Fetter. That prank would be to try and convince him that a card game was real, when in reality it was not a real game. This is a picture of a deck of cards to represent the game of Tower. As you can see, the cards are stacked on top of each other, which is the same way we played the game. The game wouldn't have any real rules, except that the objective was to get rid of all your cards first by throwing them down in the middle of a pile. Now, you couldn't throw all your cards down at once, but you can do one or a few at a time. It all depended on who you were and how you placed the cards down. If for some reason somebody such as Fetter or a random counselor put down a card that we didn't seem appropriate for that turn, then that person would have to pick up the whole pile. We didn't want Fetter to come in last every time, or else he would think that the game wasn't real, so we made sure that he always finished somewhere in the middle of the pack. As we played more games, we added terms such as guardian, anchor, and building the bridge. Basically, we screamed out random phrases that had nothing to do with the game. This installed personality into the contrived game, since we were all getting more emotionally involved in it. The rarest term we used was called the anchor. We said it only once during the game, and it occurred when Gary said, "He's building the anchor!" The he was the person putting the cards down, and in particular, putting 6 random cards down on the pile. The excitement would build with each additional card being placed down. After the 6th card, all of us started to freak out by screaming, standing up, and acting completely crazy. Counselors on break saw what we were doing, and they spread the word of the game throughout the camp. This is a picture of the type of lounge that we had our lunch break in. This is the type of room that we play Tower in. We would sit in the back of the lounge near the AC. This was our safe haven because we could relax on the job before getting back to work. This is a picture of the type of table we would play Tower at. It would be large enough so that you could eat your lunch and play cards at the same time. There would generally be about 8 people sitting down at the table at once. For all card games, the cards would be dealt out in a counterclockwise fashion. This is a picture of my boss, George. George is the director of Camp Apollo. George is known to be a friendly old man and only wants the best for all his employees, so it makes sense why he doesn't tolerate bullying among his employees. George heard of Tower since it was making its way around camp as a popular game to play, and he decided he wanted to bond with his custodians and to play the game with us. One day, he asked Fetter how to play the game, but Fetter told him that frankly he wasn't too sure how the game was played. George got suspicious and told Fetter that he was coming that afternoon to play with us. Fetter told us the news, and we were scared because George could potentially find out that it wasn't real and that we were pulling a prank on Fetter for weeks. That would get us in a lot of trouble, so we decided to let Fetter win the games so it would seem that Tower was a legit game. What we did to Fetter can be considered bullying. After the camp season was over, Fetter eventually let us know how he was mad and felt stupid because he never learned how to play Tower. We felt felt terrible, told Feder the truth, and apologized to him. From this experience, I learned that sometimes pranks shouldn't last too long, or else it could be considered bullying. This is my citation slide.